For the last 4 weeks, I've been learning to rock climb at Rock Solid, the climbing walls at Brookes University. At the centre, they've got a tower for bottom roping and lead climbing, and a bouldering room. In the first 2 weeks, we learnt the basics of bouldering and climbing. We then moved into the tower and learnt how to put on harnesses and learnt how to tie a figure-of-8 knot and stopper knots, which are the knots that you need to tie as a climber to secure yourself to the climbing rope. It was then time to learn how to belay, a skill which as novices is far more important to master than the actual climbing skills.
Has he gone off the booth yet? Good. This is tense stuff, isn't it, Charlie?
The life is in my hands. That's great.
Once we were deemed safe enough to hold each other on ropes, we were taught various elements of climbing. Foot placement, smearing, which is when you essentially use friction to create your own footholds, and weight placement. I have to admit that climbing is not something that comes naturally to me. I'm quite heavy, I'm not particularly good at heights, and I'm really rubbish at taking weight with my legs rather than on my arms. Because it's just a novice course, we only get a demo of lead climbing, which is the next stage of climbing, and realistically what you do in the outdoors. Either sport climbing, where the anchors that you rely on are permanently fixed to the rock, or trad climbing, where you place your own removable anchors as you climb. To be honest, the course was a bit of a rip-off. The instruction was reasonable, but all we really did from the second week onwards was just climb by ourselves for 2 hours, so £85 for 8 hours of climbing was pretty steep. We didn't even get rock boots included in the cost, which is a real issue because if you actually want to learn how to climb, then you can't do that wearing trainers, and so most people on the course actually went out and bought rock boots as well, which is an additional cost of anything up to about £60 or £70. If you're thinking of learning to rock climb, then I definitely recommend getting in touch with your local university mountaineering club, even if you're not a student. The clubs are the cheapest and easiest way to climb, and they'll teach you how to lead climb. Even if your university doesn't have indoor climbing walls like Brookes does, the clubs will more than likely have links with local climbing walls, so you'll get discounted indoor sessions, and a lot of clubs also run trips where they climb outdoors at weekends too.
We'll be finishing in about 5 minutes.
No pressure.
climbing is something I'd really like to get better at. There are some amazing places to climb and boulder all around the world, so I shall try and fit some climbing challenges into my trip around the world, and then when I do get home I definitely want to go and boulder at Font, which is famed as the home to the best bouldering in the world. I shall see you for my next challenge, which I do believe is a third instalment of teaching myself how to snowboard, and this week I'm going to be trying to learn how to jump.